Property Owner Files, Season 1. Episode 2. My tenant vanished and left this behind. Is being a landlord really worth it? Real estate is sold as predictable, stable, passive. But behind every rental property is a story most people never hear. Welcome back to Property Owner Files, where we open real cases from property ownership that changed everything for the landlords involved. These aren't lessons from textbooks. These are warnings written in real damage, real money, and real stress. Let's open the next file. My tenant vanished and left this behind. In the last episode, the tenant stopped paying and refused to leave. This time, the tenant did something even worse. They disappeared. No notice, no explanation, no forwarding address, just silence. Today on Property Owner Files, we're breaking down one of the most unsettling situations in real estate, when a tenant vanishes and leaves a landlord to discover what's been happening behind closed doors. Because when rent stops and communication ends, landlords are left with one terrifying question: what exactly am I about to walk into? Stay with us, because what was found inside this property shocked even experienced landlords, and it's far more common than most people think. When the tenant goes quiet, it usually starts the same way. Rent is late, messages go unanswered, calls go straight to voicemail. At first, landlords assume it's temporary. Maybe the tenant is busy. Maybe something came up. But days turn into weeks. No movement, no response, no activity. Neighbors mention they haven't seen anyone around. Packages pile up. Trash bins stay empty. This is the danger zone in property ownership, because legally the landlord still can't enter the unit. Even if they suspect abandonment, they must follow strict procedures. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. Unpaid rent accumulates. Utilities may still be running. And whatever condition the property is in is getting worse by the day. This is when anxiety takes over. Because the worst tenant horror stories don't start with confrontation, they start with silence. And when the landlord finally got permission to enter, things didn't make sense. The door opens. After weeks of silence and proper legal notice, the landlord finally entered the apartment. At first glance, it looked normal. Furniture still inside, clothes in the closet, dishes in the sink. It was as if the tenant had just stepped out for the day. But then the smell hit. Rotting food, stagnant water, something wrong. As the landlord walked deeper into the unit, the truth became clear. The tenant hadn't stepped out. They had left in a hurry. Food had been left out for weeks. A leaking pipe had gone unreported. Water damage had spread beneath the flooring. And that was only the beginning. Because once landlords start opening doors and cabinets, they realize how quickly abandonment turns into damage. Still watching? You won't believe what was hiding behind the walls. What was left behind? Inside the apartment were personal items no one abandons willingly. Important documents, electronics, furniture. But mixed in with it all were signs of neglect. Mold creeping up baseboards, pests attracted by old food, insects nesting where no one had been cleaning. What shocked the landlord most wasn't just the condition. It was the realization that all of this had been happening silently. No complaints, no maintenance requests, no warnings. In real estate, tenants are the eyes inside the property. When they vanish, small problems explode into massive ones. And worse, insurance often doesn't cover damage caused by neglect. This wasn't just lost rent anymore. This was structural damage, health hazards, an apartment that couldn't be rented again without major repairs. And the landlord still didn't know why the tenant left. If you think the mystery ends here, it doesn't. The legal and financial fallout. Abandoned property sounds simple until you deal with it. The landlord had to inventory belongings, store items, follow legal timelines before disposal, all while paying out of pocket. Every day the apartment sat empty meant no rental income, ongoing expenses, mounting stress. And here's the harsh truth about real estate investing. When a tenant disappears, landlords inherit everything: the mess, the mystery, and the bill. There's rarely accountability, rarely repayment. Most tenants who vanish are gone for good. This story ended the same way many landlord horror stories do. Not with justice, but with acceptance. The landlord fixed the damages, absorbed the loss, and moved on. But they never forgot the lesson. And the next episode proves silence isn't the worst thing a tenant can do. The real lesson. This case forces landlords to confront something uncomfortable. Property ownership isn't just about buildings, it's about risk management. Tenants don't need to fight you to cause damage. They don't need to threaten you. Sometimes they just disappear. And that's what makes this story so unsettling. No warning, no closure, just consequences. This is why experienced landlords obsess over screening, inspections, and systems. Because once a tenant goes quiet, your control is gone. And if this story made you uneasy, the next file will make you angry. Because in episode 3, the rent doesn't just stop. The tenant turns the property into something it was never meant to be. In this file, the tenant vanished. In the next one, the tenant stayed and secretly turned the property into something illegal. These are the stories behind real estate nobody posts about online. Click the next episode to open the next file. This is Property Owner Files.